with a speech entitled An Irish Logic. With a speech entitled An Irish Logic, would you please welcome Phil Byrne.
Fellow Toastmasters and guests, we live in a strange land. We live in a land that's devoid of logic. I'm just going to show you a few examples of this strange land that we live in. Many of you are familiar with this great paper. And if you're in any other country in the world, you will pick it up and open it like this. You might even go to page 3. Or you might even go to the lottery results. But in Cork, no, we won't do that. We turn to the back. And we open and see good day. What kind of morbid logic is that? And then when I find someone, that's Nicky Donovan, Deirdre Good, I don't go to that now. But I don't know. It doesn't matter if you don't know, it's important to be seen. It doesn't matter if you know it at all. That's the kind of logic, that's the kind of world that we live in. Give me a few other examples. Just looking around the room, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, there's 7 or 8 men here. Just going to ask you a question. Over the last 2 years, how many of you have bought an umbrella? About half of the people have bought an umbrella. We live here on the edge of the Atlantic. There's only about 2 countries in Europe that are Norway and Scotland. We get 60 inches of rain that's predicted every year, and half is buying an umbrella. We would prefer to look out the window and say, we think good chances. There's a break coming in the clouds. But it's not only the men that have the kind of queer logic with the weather. The women have it as well. Earlier this year, Patsy says to me, God, do she says, wouldn't it be lovely if we had a nice decking out the back in that sun trap and get rid of all those weeds and gravel and that and build a raised deck along there. And we could go out on a Sunday morning and have the breakfast and the orange juice out there and read the paper. Or even when we come home from work, we could sit out in the sun and read a book and relax. Or long bank holiday weekends, we could just enjoy the sunshine when we get it. That's a great idea. So off down to the builders, providers, and I got the joists and the noggins and the decking boards and the up posts, the down posts. I never realised there was so much going into the decking. Went home and looked up Google how to put down the decking. 3 weeks after we got it done. And I came home one lovely sunny evening from work. What do you think she was after buying? A bloody 8-foot wide umbrella parasol to keep the sun off, so she could sit in the shade in the sun. I said, why are you doing that? I said, I like to sit in the shade in the sun. Well, I said, you could have sit in the shade down there before we put up the decking and we could have saved ourselves €2,000 and gone off somewhere else and done it. No, it doesn't work. First sign of sunshine, we go mad. We put up an umbrella to keep out the sun. We won't buy an umbrella when it's going to rain. Of course, the weather gets to a lot of people. We're here now and we get, 9 months of rain and drizzle and gale and fog and smog and misery and the whole lot of it. And as soon as we get to about January, the idea comes, a holiday would be great. So Johnny was at home one day and he says, Mary, he says, I'm sick of all this. He said, I think we should go on a holiday. He says, I'm sick of this weather, I'm sick of this greyness, I'm sick of going down to the pub and seeing Johnny Donovan and Mick Moriarty down there, their heads stuck in a pint every Saturday night talking about the same stuff. He said, I'm getting fed up with our food as well. He said, wouldn't it be nice to go away somewhere where we could have the paella or the spaghetti carbonara or the paninis with your latte and cappuccinos and maybe a cocktail, pina colada or something like that. Oh God, she says, would that be great? When will we go? About July, he says, when the silage is in and the hay is in and once the final is over, we go. Off they go. Where do we go? South of Spain or Portugal, Porto del something, or it'll do fine. We pack the bags. So before he packs the bag, what's the first thing Johnny puts into the plastic bag? Barry's tea. So off he goes anyway, and then arrive in Porto del whatever it is. And Johnny comes out the very first day and he says, he's walking down along and he's there with his Italian 90 t-shirt and the shorts, the white knobbly legs that haven't seen sunshine since the confirmation suit and into the long pants. Off down the street he's going past the looky men and all that. The heat is getting to him. He's wondering, is he hallucinating? Or is the memory going? You know what? It's getting hot, alright. And then it looks like an oasis, I was going to say, a mirage in the distance. You're moving the sweat out of the eyes. And there it is in front of me, green writing, the Shamrock Bar. Full Irish breakfast served. Come on here. And who does he see in the corner? Any January Arty and Johnny Donegal. Algie is Nathan the Great to see ye. He says, what are you doing here? Fancy see ye here. Isn't it marvellous? He says, will you have a pint a week? And they spend the next 10 days in there, and they go home and they tell everybody what a wonderful holiday home from home. But you know something, the best of all about it is the Irish people, they love the politics and they love knocking everything, especially the banks and the financial institutions. It's all the topic of millions and billions that they spent over the years. They love to just knock them, except the corporate. They don't. They hold them in high esteem. I was in a pub in Upper Street last night, and by God, they hold them in high esteem. They ever sing the lyrics as good as anybody. On the bank